Vedic Lunar Scope for today, the 23rd of September, 2015. The moon today will be in the final portion of the sign of Capricorn as it makes its way through the nakshatra of Uttara Ashadha. You know, sometimes we get into these positions where we're facing a lot of hardship. And then in order to deal with that hardship, we feel compelled to dig a little bit deeper than we would ordinarily do so. And we're facing such hard resistance that in order to deal with that resistance and to feel like we're coming out the other side successful, well, we have to become a little bit rebellious. We have to become a little more radical in our approach than we would otherwise be, right? And sure, right now you're probably in a position where a certain degree of that is necessary. But then there's the other tendency that most people have, myself included, I'm sure everybody has this, is we overcompensate sometimes. So whereas when a little bit of a rebellious approach would probably be helpful in a situation, instead we become very rebellious. We become hardened rather than being open. We become stiff rather than being flexible, right? But you're actually in a position right now where a more flexible approach is going to get you further than a strong, sturdy approach. That's probably the best word I can think of. A good analogy is to think of trees. The strongest and longest lasting trees, well, they move gently with the wind. They move with the wind rather than standing hard against it. Because a strong wind, if a tree is too stiff and this tree doesn't have, good sturdy roots and isn't very grounded, well, a strong wind can come and blow that tree down. And so it's important to both have strong roots and be very grounded and to be very sturdy, but also move with the changes which are now impacting you. Right now, a stubborn attitude isn't going to get you very far. A degree of flexibility will. You do have to be somewhat radical in your approach, but you don't need to be so hard and so driven. That's only going to work against you in the long run. Uttara Ashadha is a moksha-driven nakshatra. It wants to be free of certain situations in its life, and it will do whatever it takes to create that level of freedom. Okay, and on one level, sure, that can be good, but when you're not being aware, which is the other side of Uttara Ashadha, because Uttara Ashadha is associated with the Vishwadevas, which are the deities of universalization. So generally with Uttara Ashadha, what ends up happening is we become strong and we take a strong approach, but somewhere along the way, something is revealed to us and we have an opening of our awareness and we see things from a more universal perspective and we adopt a sense of humility. And that sense of humility helps us to come to a deeper understanding of our true strength than would a strong approach, becoming more sturdy. So it's important to be steadfast when the energy is dealing with Uttara Ashadha energy. But if you're steadfast without being aware, then Uttara Ashadha energy is just going to function in a more negative polarity. The lunar tithi today is Shukla Dashami. It's the 10th day of the bright half of the moon. And with this particular energy, there's the need to be willing to let go rather than holding on to something, right? The change is actually happening all around you, but you're somewhat resisting the change rather than going with the changes. It's just difficult for you to have the awareness to see that. The solar lunar yoga today is Atiganda. And with Atiganda, again, the key here is being flexible. If you're looking to manifest a change in your life, the best way to manifest that change is to be flexible, to move with the wind rather than trying to stand against an overwhelming force. That's what will actually get you further. But if you could use a little bit of extra assistance in dealing with the difficult change, I do offer several different tiers of astrological service, which are available through the astrological services page of my website, which is linked in the bottom left-hand corner of this video. Those of you who are astrology enthusiasts, if you'd like to learn some intermediate level Vedic astrology predictive techniques, I am going to be starting a webinar the first module of a several-part webinar, which begins on the 10th of October. And you can find further information about that particular course on the link that's in the bottom right-hand corner of this video. That's going to do it for your Vedic Lunar Scope for today, the 10th, sorry, it's not the 10th of October, the 23rd of September 2015. Until next time, please take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.